Hey everybody, welcome back to the 80s Slashers YouTube channel. As you can see in this video, we're going to be talking about, discussing, and reviewing the 1986 slasher film Sorority House Massacre. We're going to take a look at the plot, the setting of the film, the kills, the nudity, and then I'll just wrap it all up with some final thoughts. Now, before we get into the review of this film, I thought I would give kind of a little update on the channel itself. As some of you who have been following this channel for a while know, it's been quite some time, many months, since I've last put up a video. And I just kind of wanted to give you an update of what's been going on. So if you don't care about that, if you're new to the channel and you just want to, take a look at the review of Sorority House Massacre, I'll put up a timestamp somewhere on the screen here just to let you know you can skip ahead there when the review actually starts. All right, so where have I been? Now, I should say thank you to a bunch of people have been reaching out to me, asking me to come back, seeing if I'm all right, all that stuff. So it's really appreciated, and everything's fine. There's no medical emergency, or nothing like that. There's a few reasons why I've kind of been on hiatus for the last few months. So I'll just go through them, just give you everyone an update, because like I said, there has been some interest in what's been going on. So. Um, the first thing I'll talk about is burnout, YouTube burnout. It's if you watch a lot of YouTube, you hear a lot of creators talking about it, and it's true. It hit me. It did. The burnout actually hit me. I've been doing this channel for 3 years, and I was putting a video up every Friday, like clockwork. Every Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern time. You would see a new video from me. And I just needed a break. I got to the point where for me I to make one of these videos, basically what I do is I have to watch the film or do my research, whatever it is I'm talking about. And then I write like a little script, some thoughts, put my thoughts down. That takes, an hour, a couple hours to do that. Then I have to find the time to actually make this video, and then I have to go and I have to edit the video. I had to get some clips, pictures, insert it. And then I have to upload it to YouTube. It takes quite a few hours throughout my week to do it, and it's nonstop. And as soon as I finish, I gotta like get on the next one. It's just a constant thing, and whatever. Like, I'm not complaining. It's just after 3 years, it just kind of got a little much for me, and I just needed a break. And over the previous Christmas, I said, "Oh, I'm gonna take a break, take a couple weeks off," and I took those couple weeks off, and I enjoyed it, and it was relaxing. It kind of lowered my stress levels, and I kind of then I put another video up, and I just realized, like, man, I need more time, and I took it. So that's definitely one reason. Coupled with that, life itself is just got kind of crazy on me. I had some changes at work. Good changes. Career advancement, whatnot. But with that comes more responsibilities. I have less free time because I'm doing more stuff after hours, kind of thing. So, and there was a lot of like stress involved, like making decisions whether to take certain positions and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, life just kind of got in the way. It was kind of a change in my regular routine because I had a new job. Kids. I have 6-year-old twin girls, and they're crazy. Kids are crazy, man, and just they as the older they get, the more attention, and it's just again just less time to do this sort of thing. So yeah, I just life got in the way. And the last reason, which is one of the bigger ones actually, is for the last 3 years, like I said, I've been watching 80s slashers so much. um I got overwhelmed with my backlog of other films that I want to watch because I'm a collector. Like, every week, every couple days, I'm going to the thrift stores. I'm on Amazon, eBay, and I keep buying um other films that aren't 80s slashers, 80s teen sex comedies, other regular horror films. Just whatever you can think of, I buy, and I keep buying, and I can't stop buying them, but I don't have the time to watch them. So I had like hundreds and hundreds of films in my backlog that I wanted to watch, and I just couldn't have the time to get to it. So over these past few months that I haven't been making videos, I've been just hammering those films out, like sometimes two a day. And I'm basically done. I think my, like I had like, I'm crazy. I have like a list in my phone I've been keeping of the films I need to watch. I think I'm down to like five or six. So it's allowed me to get caught up on all these other films. So I'm gonna get to the point where I get home at night, I don't have any films to watch. I'm like, oh, I have no backlog. If I want something to watch, I have to go to the thrift store and try to and find something or order something on Amazon. And when it comes in, I have a movie to watch, which is very appealing, to have that luxury. So it's been like years since I've been at that stage. So I know people who collect physical media, they always have a backlog, but I don't know. It was scratching my brain and I didn't like it. So yeah, here I am. I'm finally caught up. So the only ones I don't have to watch, or I haven't watched in my backlog, are the few 80s slashers that I've been holding off on, like, hopefully getting back into the channel and to do that. So yeah, so that's basically it. That's the reason. I just needed a break. So I've decided, like, I want to keep the channel going. I do, because I like talking about 80s slashers. And I know there's people on here that appreciate it, and that means a lot to me as well. So, but I can't commit to one video every week anymore. I don't think, 'cause it's just, I could do it. Like I could do this one and next week and keep going, but I might get back to the same mindset that I was in. So I'm just gonna put them as I do them, Like if I'm feeling I'm watching an 80s slasher, then yeah, I'll watch the 80s slasher and I'll make a video on it. But I'm not gonna keep to a strict weekly schedule. Maybe every 2 weeks would be good. That will kind of space it out. I won't feel as rushed to get my notes put together and get the filming time. I can probably squeeze that together. So we'll see. No promises, but I'm not gonna go anywhere. I don't think I'm gonna permanently go away. I just kind of need a fresher. And maybe making this video, if I get some positive comments, welcome back, all that stuff. Maybe that will, re-energize me and want me to keep going. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, that's it. That's the update. So, all right, enough of that. So let's just hop right into the review of Sorority House Massacre. So let's start off and we'll take a look at the plot. All right, so um, basically this is a short film. This is, I think, 1 hour and what is it, an hour and like 18 minutes or something, like 78 minutes. Yeah, an hour and 18 minutes. So this is a very short film. So basically the plot starts, a young lady, she's visiting her friends in a sorority house. She's going over there for the weekend to hang out, whatnot. And as soon as she walks in the house, she starts getting this weird feeling, almost like a deja vu. She starts having like hallucinations. She starts having day nightmares, and she isn't sure what's going on. Her friends don't really recognize it, and she just feels uneasy in this house, and she can't piece it together. Anyway, so they go on. They're still having like sorority house parties. All these college girls having fun, and at the same time, a serial killer or violent offender escapes from like a mental hospital. He kills his way to the mental hospital and escapes, and obviously makes his way towards the sorority house where all these ladies are having their weekend get together. So at the same time, we see this, deranged maniac making his way on his killing rampage, and at the same time, the main girl, what's her name in here? Is it say her name? Beth. The main girl, Beth, keeps continuing having these hallucinations and these nightmares, and the two are obviously connected. There's the serial killer and Beth. There's a connection there, and the sorority house is actually part of it as well. So they kind of meet and merge on this at this sorority house, and the killer starts killing the girls one by one. There's boys that show up, of course. There's always boyfriends, and the killer just starts killing his way through the entire cast. And then kind of, throughout the film, there's the plot, the how they fit together is revealed. There's like a mystery here. There's like a twist and whatnot, and it all comes together. And then there's the final confrontation, as you usually see. So that's it. I know it's not very descriptive plot, but that's basically it. Like I said, it's an hour and 18 minutes. There's not a lot going on. They pretty much jump right into it. So I would talk about the things I liked about the, in terms of the plot here and just the structure of the film. This film was filmed really well. Now, I should say this is a Roger Corman. I didn't mention this is a Roger Corman production. So he also did Slumber Party Massacre, and that was this big success, big hit. That was 1982, I believe, and this is 1986. So I guess he wanted to go back and make something similar. So Slumber Party Massacre, Sorority House Massacre. You couldn't get too much of a trying to play off the first film. So yeah, so this is Roger Corman. But yeah, this film it's made really well. It looks really well. It's filmed good. There's some some neat little camera tricks that are thrown in. Some like kind of like art shots, like kind of like very artistic shots with like the cinematography. So it looks really good. It's you can tell it's made by people who are used to making a lot of films. It's not like a first time director. So it looks really good. This film, being made in 1986, has a really strong 80s style. All the all the women's hair, the clothing, like the dialogue, just like the dialogue they talk, like that 80s style is very strong in this. And it just has that really perfect blend of cheesy nostalgia. So I like that. I like this era. Some of the early 80s slashers, they feel they feel like they could fit any time. They're kind of like the 70s bleeding into the 80s. But this is like smack dab in the middle of the 80s, and it just has all those neon colors and the big poofed up hairsprayed hair, and just like the dialogue the chicks are saying, like, oh, totally radical, and like whatever, that kind of stuff. It's just so 80s, so it's really cool. Um, the plot itself, like the twist, the reveal that I talked about, it works well. It's not hard to figure out. You probably, by the time you're halfway through, you have a good idea of what's going on, but it still works. Like, there's no gaping plot holes, in my opinion. It's been done many times before and after this. And to be honest, at times it is a little too convenient just to kind of make the pieces fit together, but it made sense. So that's all. A lot of these movies, the plots do not make sense. They force things in just to get to the next plot point or whatever. So yeah, plot wise, the twist reveal, it it worked. Now back to like the filming style. I liked. Um, there was some really like creepy dream-like sequences, and they were filmed really cool. Like there was like flashback sequences that added just a really unique vibe to the film. So yeah, overall, like just the way this film looks and the way it was filmed, I really kind of dug it. So now, dislikes, some of the things I don't like. I just talked about like the dreamlike sequences. They're cool, but there is too much. Too many of them for my liking. I just, the first 10 minutes of the film is the majority of it is a dream, and it's a lot of that. What is a dream, what is real type of stuff. And I, I don't love that. I don't love that. You throw in a little bit, but when it's over and over, they keep like it's like they're trying to trick you. Like, oh, is this real? Oh, this is really happening. Oh no, it's not. It's a dream. It just, like I said, a little bit is fine, but it's just this film threw a little too much of that at me, and it's not something that I personally prefer. Now, I haven't mentioned this yet, but this is this would be considered a supernatural slasher. Um, I won't get into exactly how it is, because I just I don't want to spoil anything, because it is part of the plot and the twist and all that stuff. But there is supernatural elements in this, and honestly, I feel like the way that the story was written, they probably could have left it out. The story would have worked without any of the supernatural parts of it. Um, so yeah, I didn't like that. I don't generally like supernatural elements in my slashers. I want it to be just real, something that could happen in real life. It adds to the fear factor. These films aren't scary anymore to me, but you know what I mean? Like, just the supernatural kind of takes you out of it, and it's like, okay, well, we're out of reality at this point. So, um, yeah, it was just unnecessary. It's like, again, the Nightmare on Elm Street effect. At this point, 86, the original Nightmare film came out in 84, and it's just everybody had to use these supernatural elements now, it's just to draw people in or whatever. I don't know. It was the thing. It was the fad of the time. So I don't like that, but whatever. So that's Um, but yeah, though all those things I just talked about, they're like the main points of this film that stood out to me. Everything else we'll talk about in the next segment. So let's move on and let's take a look at the setting. All right, so Sorority House Massacre. This film was made in Los Angeles, and it feels like it. It feels like it's, especially the daytime scenes. It just feels like it's a movie shot in LA. It just has that feel. So I like that. I like the, summery vibe with the palm trees, the beaches and whatnot. Especially like the daytime scenes. They're really bright, really sunny. Everyone has the sunglasses, the summer clothing. It has that vibe, which I like. I like that feel, It's especially watching this in the summertime. It's a good time because it has the daytime scenes, which is mostly at the beginning of the film. It just has a good vibe. So I like that. Now, of course, the primary setting of the film takes place inside a sorority house, and I thought that the film they utilized the house pretty good because, as I said, the large majority of the film takes place in the house. So there's scenes shot all over the house. They use the living room, multiple different bedrooms, the kitchen. There's scenes down in the basement, the exterior of the house, the front yard, the backyard. Yeah, the whole house was utilized pretty good. So even though it's a smaller location, they flush it out. It's not all in one or two locations. So the house was used well. So that's good. Now, the problem I have is that this sorority house that they used, it didn't feel like a sorority house. It didn't have that like that lived-in feel that a house would have with a bunch of college girls living there. It was this house was really um, clean and like sterile, and it felt like a house that an older rich person lived in. It was like, that had like a housekeeper. Everything was in order. Everything was neat and clean. It wasn't realistic as a sorority house. Um, so it didn't really fit for me. That all these girls were living in this house. Other films like House on Sorority Row, Black Christmas, those felt like they were realistic sorority houses. Like that's where a bunch of college girls lived. Um, it fit the theme. This one didn't, unfortunately. So yeah, I don't know. So in terms of the setting, it's all right. Like it's like for a slasher set primarily in one house. Um, they use the house well, but it just didn't capture the feel of a true sorority, in my opinion. So overall, yeah, it's an all right setting, but in many ways it kind of failed for me. So yeah, it is what it is. All right, let's move on and we'll talk about the kills. All right, so Sorority House Massacre has a total of 8 kills, that's a decent number for a slasher film, especially for a film like I said that's only an hour and 15 minutes. Unfortunately, the pacing is not great. There's some early minor kills, very tame. Um, but the first like real kill, like the first like uh, standout kill is not until about 45 minutes. So think about that. The film is an hour and 15 minutes. So you sit through 45 minutes of, a couple minor things, and then when the real kills start, there's only a half hour left. So pacing not great. Now, so a lot of the kills they're pretty typical. They're climax heavy, like I talked about, which is fine. The kills themselves, unfortunately, they're pretty tame. There's nothing honestly too violent or overly unique or creative. A majority of them are just straight up stabbings. Like you see here, like the killer uses weapon of choice is a big knife, and just walking around stabbing these people, which is good. I like, sometimes a nice simple stabbing is good if it's done really well. Like it's funny, the film that comes to mind is Final Exam, 1981 slasher, which again, a majority of the kills are stabbings, but in that film the stabbings are brutal. Like you see the knife going in and out, and they're really really violent. They feel very visceral. This one, not so much. I don't know. They're tame, I guess is the word I would use. There's no real practical effects. You see the arm going, but you don't really see the blade going in. You don't see blood. There's a little bit of blood effects. They're just, yeah, they're just a little tame for stabbings. There is one near the end that I would call that I would call like a decent stab kill, like on par with the kills in Final Exam. There's one like that, and it's the highlight kill, I guess you would call it. There's some practical effects that they took the time and they did that one right. But everything else is pretty tame. So yeah, overall, I would say the kills in Sorority House Massacre are they're not terrible. There is enough of them. Like I said, 8 is a pretty good number. It's just they're just kind of tame, and they didn't put enough effort into making them stand out, making them the highlight of the film. They were going for, I don't know what they were going for, more of a, the supernatural type plot twist kind of thing. They're going for that, I think, and the kills seem like an after effect. So, yeah, overall, um, all right, kills. All right, let's move on. Talk about the nudity. All right, so Sorority House Massacre has a total of 3 nude scenes. Now, for a Roger Corman flick, that's pretty tame. And honestly, 2 of the scenes, like basically we have, there's like a brief shower scene, like your obligatory shower scene. It's really brief, couple flashes here and there. There's a brief sex scene, same thing. A couple quick flashes and it's over. So, those are just whatever. Like, back in the 80s, those were, you pause it, you watch it in slow motion kind of thing. That was basically what it was. There is one highlight scene if you're looking for nudity. It's basically a scene where a bunch of the girls are getting changed. They're changing their clothes all in the same room together. They're trying on stuff. And this scene is hilarious. It's typical Roger Corman. It's super gratuitous, super cheesy. The whole time there was like this funny music playing. It just made me laugh the whole time, and the girls were just doing things that girls do not do with it. I'm pretty sure girls do not, teenage university girls do not change like this in front of each other. But they're like jumping around and like shaking their chest. It's ridiculous. It was obviously probably inserted at the request of Roger Corman himself. Just we need this one scene, similar to the Slumber Party Massacre has that super gratuitous shower scene. That's the scene in this film. It's like a changing clothes, but like the music is so funny. It just made me laugh. It was just a weird mid '80s cheese fest, and it was great. It was good. And again, it lasted. It was pretty good. It was, I don't know how long it was. It was a minute or two. It was longer than it needed to be. It was super gratuitous. So yeah. So in terms of nudity, that's what you can expect. I'd say it's your typical mid '80s horror film level of nudity. So um, yeah, we'll leave it at that. All right, let's wrap this up with some final thoughts. All right, so yeah, Sorority House Massacre. This is an all right slasher. Um, you know, besides all of its shortcomings, I can't say that I didn't enjoy watching it. All the elements that I typically look for in a slasher film, they were all here. Even like I said, even if some of them were a little tame. I guess that's the most disappointing aspect of this is this seems like just a tame slasher. The plot itself worked for me. Like I said, at least it made sense, and that's not always the case, especially when they're going for these big twist reveals. They can get convoluted, and they lose track of the finer plot details, and they skip over some stuff. And this one worked for me. It made sense, which I have to give it points for that. There was too much supernatural stuff, and there was too much of the dream sequence stuff. But like I said, 1986, and this was just what they did at this time, so I can't really knock it for it. This is what people wanted, and this is what the films they were making. But looking at it from today's perspective, it took something away from it for me. But again, subjective. I don't like that stuff. I don't prefer supernatural in my slasher. So the setting, like I said, was a little disappointing. I just wanted, a film titled Sorority House Massacre. I just expected more of that college feel, to make you feel like you're immersed in a college campus, to make you feel like you're actually, a fly on the wall in a sorority house. And it just didn't feel like that. It was very um, sterile. Like the setting was just very, it was probably Roger Corman's brother's house. It's some rich person, and he's like, let's film in this house. That's what it felt like. It didn't feel like a lived-in college sorority. So the house was cool. Like they used it well, but again, it's kind of a sterile sorority house setting. Kills itself were fine, a little tame. Not a lot of creativity. They're all knife stabbings, but they were fine. Decent blood, good number of kills. Just again, just tame is the theme. And like I said, when we just talked about like the nudity, there was like one super gratuitous scene which was kind of fun. So yeah, Sorority House Massacre. Like I said, all right, mid '80s slasher that even though like I said, I have a bunch of criticisms about it. I still kind of enjoyed watching it. Maybe it's just because it's that mid '80s, the '80s cheese factor and the nostalgia. I don't know. It was something about it, even though it's like I said, not the greatest example of an '80s slasher. It was still fun. And it was short, an hour and 15 minutes. Like how can you not invest an hour and 15 minutes in it? This in no way competes with the Slumber Party Massacre. That's in a whole other tier. Uh, this is just a lower level of that. There is similarities between those. You can tell it was made by the same people. This is just a tier way below. So yeah, so if you enjoy this era of '80s slashers, like the mid to late '80s, um, you know, that are heavy on the cheese factor, don't take themselves too seriously. I think you'll probably like this one. It's fun. It has some fun elements, and if you can turn your brain off for some of the stupid stuff that we're used to seeing in this era, I think you'll probably like it. So yeah, that's it. That's my thoughts and review on Sorority House Massacre. So yeah, thanks everyone for staying subscribed to the channel on this little hiatus. I'll try to get some more videos up. Like I said, we'll see. But yeah, stay tuned. All right. Thanks a lot. See ya.